Talking Central Arkansas soccer, head coach Ross Duncan, Mathias Bendiksen, who's joining us from Norway, and out in New York, Alexsi Morel. Gentlemen, good to be with you. How are you?
Good.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, doing well.
How are you?
Good. Coach, let's start with you about, this was one of those sports that was in the middle of competition and everything got shut down. How'd you get the word, and what was your reaction when you found out?
Yeah, I think we were fortunate. Our competitive season's in the fall, so that was good. We weren't affected, but obviously we have a spring competition as well, which we feel like we get a lot out of every year. It's a lot of development that time of year for us. But we were fortunate. We had front-loaded our schedule to play some professional teams, USL teams. They start their preseason in February. So to play them, we have to start our spring super early. And we decided to go ahead and do that this year, obviously not knowing that that COVID was coming, but it had a kind of a benefit because we got 3 out of our 5 competitions done before, so we only lost. We lost University of Memphis, which would have been a great match for us. And then we had Watchdog Baptist that we lost. But, if we're going to pick the games to be able to play, it was nice to play the pro teams. Alexi got the game winner against Oklahoma City Energy, which was fun. Matthias didn't get to play against either, unfortunately, because of an injury, but he got to be a big part of our team and certainly will be going forward.
Are most of your players back home now?
All of them except for one. One of our Japanese players has a girlfriend from Conway, so he's just going to post up with her family and do some internships through the summer. But the last of our international guys actually left today, 2 of our Spanish guys.
Okay.
We moved pretty quickly. We're probably one of the first sports to say, guys, try and get home, do what you can. We have a lot of internationals. I was worried that we were going to get stuck with, borders shut down, and then we're trying to take care of, 20 guys on campus, which I'm sure we would have been able to do. Dr. Davis would have done a good job supporting us, but I just know that, getting home to family was a huge priority for me.
Matthias, did you have any trouble getting home?
No, we got the notice that the school shut down on like a Thursday, and then coach decided to let us go back home on Friday, Saturday. I was on the plane back home on Monday, so it was fine.
And then you finished, I guess, the semester from there. How was the academic side of it?
I'm taking a couple online classes from the start of the semester, so the transition wasn't that bad. But some teachers had a lot of work to do at the same time, so that was kind of stressful, but I managed through it. It was good.
And Alexi, how about for you? How about getting home? How was the travel for you?
For me, it wasn't bad as well. I also I was able to try fly out on Sunday. So, when we found out about the news, it wasn't too much of a hassle because I'm from New York, so the flight was just 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad.
What was the situation like in New York when you got home?
It wasn't as bad as everyone was saying because once I got there, that's when everything started to escalate, and turns out we were like the epicenter of the United States where everything was occurring. So that brought some fear into me and my family, but I think we managed it very well, so it wasn't that bad for us, at least.
It's a power move, by the way, doing the interview in front of all your bling. I like that. It's good. A lot of hard work went into those medals.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Those are his little brothers. Don't be
See,
cool.
I've got 2 head covers back here that Dr. T gave me. I did not do anything to earn anything, so that's good. Yeah. If I had earned all those, I would definitely be displaying those as well. So what's next? I mean, what can you do? I mean, as a soccer player, but you can certainly train. I mean, from skill standpoint. I mean, Alexi, let me stay with you for a second. What's your plan now going forward? What do you want to try to do?
So currently, with everything going on, I've luckily been able to train outside, with some fields that are open because there was one field that me and my brother were training at last week, and they chained up the goals, so we weren't able to use those fields anymore because, more and more groups were gathering. So they decided to close that down because, it's still occurring out here. And me and my brother just ended up finding another field that we were able to train on, and we've just been sticking to that. And, before that, before we were able to train on the fields, we were just playing outside on the street, some soccer with me and my brother.
I like it. And Mathias, you got a little different kind of challenge there. If it's still snowing in Norway where you are.
Yeah, that's correct. The fields are still a little bit snowy, but we have some indoor facilities that we can get into, so we can practice there. And actually, it's loosening up a bit about the restrictions. So during the next 2 weeks, I think team practices can start again. So I'll be back practicing with my local team then.
Well, I know Europe is soccer crazy. How would you rate Norway as far as soccer interest overall? Is that a pretty soccer crazy country?
Yeah, you either ski or you play soccer.
How about you? Did you ski too?
Yeah, I did, but I quit when I was like 11 because I wanted to just play soccer.
Do you do it recreationally at all?
Yeah, over Easter we have like Easter break here. 1 week we go to our cabin and we ski every day, so that's pretty fun.
How are you doing with the injury?
I recovered from it, so I got to play the last exhibition game against Harding. So after that, I've been 100% fit. So I'm just working on strengthening my hamstring that I was injured in, so it doesn't happen again.
And things are pretty well open in Norway, or I mean, restaurants, I mean, public things, I mean, open or not?
Yeah, they loosen up the restrictions, so now we can gather 50 people in like public places, but you have to sit 1 meter apart. And then the schools are reopening next week, I think. So yeah, it's going back to normal slowly.
We would get in trouble over there because most of us don't understand the metric system. So I'd be like, oh, I thought that was a meter. I don't know.
Yeah,
Alexi,
you
what do
would
you?
get fined for sure.
I would definitely get fined. Alexi, what do you? Sorry, not Alexa. Stop. It's happened again. Alexi, what about in Long Island? Are restaurants reopening? Are you seeing any kind of movement in a positive direction?
Not really. Everything at the moment is still closed down. They just last week closed down all the schools here in Long Island. So my brother, thankfully, is gonna be here.
Yeah.
But I think the plan was that they're gonna open like restaurants and important stores, slowly, so they don't cause any problems.
Yeah.
So yeah.
From now on, I'm going to call you Mr. Morel if it comes up again. So,
Okay.
Coach, I mean, what's next for you guys? What do you want to see happen? What do you expect to happen? I mean, it's hard to make any kind of long-term plans at this point.
Yeah, I think my role in all this is to keep the guys focused on the season. Fortunately, we had been developing an online training program that the idea was to use it for the summer. So basically from about now until preseason, we were working with a professional soccer kind of sports-specific strength coach out in Phoenix, and so we worked with him quickly and got a program designed that started right after spring break. So from March 31st onward, they've been on an individual training program that's designed to kind of periodize their training so that they can be fit and healthy to start preseason in August. So our hope is we can get guys in at the beginning of July. Obviously, that's going to be dependent on embassies being open, borders being open, the campus being able to take students in at that point. Based on Dr. Davis's projections, we're meant to resume classes as normal for fall semester, which would allow us to do a normal preseason. But as he said, and as we all know, that could change day by day. So we're just focused. We're taking all the notes from our leadership, from Dr. T, Dr. Davis, and then I'm trying to disseminate that information to the players as best I can. Without overwhelming them, like with daily updates. Just trying to boil it down to here's what actually matters. Here's what you guys need to focus on.
Yeah.
Use this time wisely. We talked today. We had a team Zoom call and talked today about what good can you bring out of this. Not just can we survive this time and be back to normal. Can we actually use it to our advantage? It's just a time we can get better in an area that we hadn't had time to train before. So we've all kind of been working on identifying those things in our sport or in our personal. We're doing a project right now which has nothing to do with soccer. The guys think we're crazy probably, but we're watching some World War II movies and trying to see how we can draw some parallels and and look at how people deal with difficult situations in life. So.
Speaking of difficult situations, how's the homeschooling going with the kids? How are you handling being home? It's been probably nice having some extra home time, but probably some new challenges.
Yeah, it's good and bad. You know, I can't put a price on, you know, being able, we've had family dinner for whatever it is, 50, 60 nights in a row now, which is great because usually I'm coming home from training and missing dinner, or the kids are going to soccer practice or whatever. So it's been really cool to have that time. It's special, and we'll certainly remember it fondly. But yeah, when I'm trying to talk to recruits and Lincoln is, you know, asking me for help with it, you know, I can't get his math video to load, and then Taylor's crying because, you know, she got some answers wrong on her spelling test, and I'm like, my head's spinning because I can't figure out how to do this math project. So yeah, it's certainly challenging, but not as challenging as, you know, I've got a buddy that is in the Bronx right now as a frontline nurse. I was talking to him today, and like, you know, the stuff he's dealing with is a little more difficult than, you know, figuring out Zoom calls and math problems for the first grade.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to.
No, it puts in perspective for sure.
Yeah,
guys, stay safe. Thank you for the time. It was great visiting with you, and hope to see you all back in Conway soon.